So how long does it take to create Angel?
That definitely depends on the look I'm going for, how technical the makeup's going to be. Also, if you mean the hair removal, the fake tanning, all the little things that go with trying to give you maybe a slightly more effeminate glow. Now, as I am, an hour. Is that a long time, do you think? It can take, it can take 2.5. It just depends on how extreme or unextreme you're going. And obviously today I'm hardly even wearing that many clothes. So, yeah, not that bad.
For Sparkle, you put a lot of prep work in, obviously. Starting, say, like 2 nights beforehand.
Obviously,
you were doing sort of
person.
shaving, tanning, and again that's a few hours one night, and then next day you're spending a lot of time buying accessories, researching, and then again sort of the night before you're doing bits and pieces as well. You sort of maybe a trial run of trying a few things, looks.
Yeah, definitely. Before I do like a drag look, I'm a girl. I literally will try on about 6 or 7 different outfits, different accessories. Try and make it work to, as best I can. Also, it's a little bit harder for me because, as you can see, I'm hardly a skinny boy. I've got to kind of try and work with a whole lot of blubber.
Do you think there's the same sort of pressures that are felt by guys who do drag in how they look, sort of with their figure?
I definitely know a lot of drag queens that would watch their weight a lot and do, crash diets, that sort of stuff. I probably should, but in all fairness, I just think I'm a bit fat and fabulous.
So you embrace what you've got?
Yeah, and so it's very strange because you do actually find that it's either the very skinny boys that look really good in drag or the plumper guys, because they've got sort of like a bit more fat to play with to make it look more like breasts and stuff like that.
So it's the old-fashioned buxom English rose.
English rose, yeah.
So it's sort of... So what's the future for Angel?
I really don't know. I mean, I have a full-time job already, and although I'd like to expand on Angel, I don't know how or what's the best way to go about it. But I've been looking into different things. Been talking to a few people who are interested in trying to find me some work and stuff. So I've got no immediate plans at all. But if anyone's watching this and you think you could give me something that would be worth doing and give me an opportunity, this bitch can choreograph to fuck. What? That's not the right word, is it? Choreograph, that's the word. Well,
I mean, a lot of people sort of, when they go into town, they see sort of drag stars, local drag stars, as basically somebody who stands on a stage, mimes to a few songs, tells a few people where to go, and sort of that's the cabaret entertainment.
Sure. I think it's changing.
What other roles are there?
I think it is. Sorry for cutting in there, but I think that's changing. I think now there's all different levels of drag. Obviously, you've got the drag where where it's like comedy drag, and they'll just get up there and scream abuse at the audience, heckle them, and get heckled back, and obviously it's hilarious. But then you can walk into a club and you can just see a tranny DJing, or like literally just walking around socialising with all the people. There's so many different sides of drag. Obviously, I think you've got to be a confident person to be able to carry off whatever you want to do. But yeah, I think witty, strong is always going to work where drag's concerned. Yeah, but I don't know if it's all now just about lip syncing and that sort of stuff. I think there's definitely different takes on drag these days. It's quite an old-fashioned thing. Although fun, because you always need that.
Do you find that it's a competitive sort of interest, or do you find that sort of it's easy to make sort of drag friends? Is it sort of like...
No, it's competitive. Obviously, I think obviously there's a lot of drag queens that have really good friends, look after each other, have each other's back and stuff, without a doubt. But I think it's competitive because there's a lot of hard competition out there, so you're always going to get the bitches with the claws out, just you're always going to get that. But I think that kind of comes with the territory, and I don't think it's ever done particularly as a nasty thing. It's all done in good humour most of the time. But yeah, there's definitely going to be jealousy, without doubt, of look how much better that person looks, or oh, she's so thin, she's so much prettier, there's always going to be that. But then don't you get that with women? Women are just the same, I think it's like a school playground out there, kids. Like a school playground, I tell you.
Why do you think there's such a high ratio of drag queens to drag kings? And could you explain to the audience what a drag king is?
Sure. A drag king is the opposite to me. It's a girl that dresses as a man. I think you can get some amazing drag kings, just like you can get amazing drag queens. Although I think people, since the whole cabaret kind of scene ever burst onto the scene, I think people have always kind of slightly more appreciated the drag queens, and there's probably a lot more sort of bitchier, cutting, funnier one-liners that could come out of a drag queen, whereas with drag kings, let's face it, men aren't that funny. They're not. They're, well, funny looking, some of them.
Drag kings have obviously been underrepresented, especially compared to drag queens in films like we were discussing before.
Definitely.
The main one I can think to sort of put across is Victoria.
Okay.
Where Julie Andrews plays a woman pretending to be a man who then pretends to do drag.
Sure.
Now obviously that was sort of the early 80s now.
And, there's also been films like He's the Man, is it? Or where there's a girl who wants to play football, and in America it's like an American chick flick really. There's a girl who wants to play football and she ends up dressing as a man. So there has been, there's definitely nowhere near as many drag king kind of films as there is drag queen. I definitely do think that. But I really do think it goes down to the fact that it's not quite as funny, is it? It's not quite as funny seeing. You can get straight women that look like men. You know, so it's like it's not really something that's particularly that funny, because you know you get some quite butch women anyway.
Do you think the sort of the look for women? Obviously,
It's limited as well, isn't it?
women have always had more sort of choice and of looks when it comes to hairstyles and the
Sure.
clothes, whereas sort of men are very limited. It's sort
Of
of like
course, you bang on a beard
suits
or a
or rugby,
moustache.
that sort of thing. So is there probably less that appeal because there's less choice?
Yeah, because you know another thing is that I do believe a lot of people like drag queens for and trannies and things like that is because they like to see the outfits they wear, the things they put together, the creations they create. Whereas you know beyond ties and moustaches, there's not really that much that drag kings can do. And I mean, although, got to say, at Sparkle that weekend, we saw some really good drag kings, but basically doing the same generic sort of stuff, really. They were great at what they did, but it was very much on stage singing Frank Sinatra songs. I mean, what else can they do? You know? Maybe they could start being Justin Timberlake. You know? Maybe not.
How do people who might have known you for a while sort of tend to respond the first time they see you as Angel?
Um, well, everyone knows I'm a screaming queen anyway, just in general everyday life. So, generally, I've never had a bad response. It's always been like really positive. People usually, you know, it's always nice things. I always get nice things. I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm blowing my own trumpet or anything like that. But yeah, I generally get nice comments. People, you know, saying it look, I look good. But then there's always that side of you that's a bit like, oh, it's your friend. Your friends are saying it, you know. But then this weekend as well, when we were at Sparkle, I got some really nice comments then as well, which, you know, always boosts your confidence a little. Because I'm like literally a baby drag queen compared to other people. I'm like just starting out, don't have a clue what I'm doing. At the moment, I'm a cock in a frock who's just looking for something. Like somebody to, you know, help me along the way, and do, you know, do things with my look, I suppose. There's definitely people out there that look way better than me, but I don't know. Yeah, I think I always get a positive response though.
When you do drag, do you
Sorry,
tend to...
I'm really hot. I've got to tell you, weave makes you really hot, especially when it's like boiling out. Just pop that up for a bit.
When you do drag, generally do you tend to go for a sort of naturally feminine look, or would you say you more tend towards sort of an exaggerated sort of look for effect?
You see, at the moment, I'd probably say I'm going for a more kind of exaggerated feminine look, but I'd really like to play with that kind of more scary drag, like fun, crazy drag. Because like at the moment, I suppose I'm more like towards the tranny side of things, but not like the bad tranny who just throws on a wig and doesn't shave, because we all know those. Wow, we all know those.
Over the weekend, we saw some gentlemen with, and they were quite open about it. They were with the wives.
That was really lovely though.
So, I mean, you were lucky enough to have a chat with some of those.
Yeah, I was in a bar and I got talking to a couple. One was a tranny and his wife or her wife, and you know, the love between those two was remarkable. You know, she accepted that he enjoyed dressing up. You know, this is the thing. You know, people make it into a big drama, but do you not remember as a child when you used to, you know, go around to your friend's house and you'd end up in their dress up box and playing dress up anyway, and you know, just because you get older, it doesn't mean that you stop enjoying dressing up. Some people just like dressing up as a woman or as a drag king, queen, whatever. They just like it, don't they? You know, how many times have you been to a fancy dress party and you know, that night you feel so special because you dressed as somebody different, as something different, an alter ego, or you know, a character, and it's just the same. You know, it just makes you feel sort of like a bit special. Maybe not like you for the day. You know, sometimes it's good to escape from your generic everyday self, you know, and what better way to do it if you can be a glamazon? I mean, bitch, work it.
Are there any makeup products that sort of aimed at trannies?
I would definitely say MAC is a big one. MAC Pro. You know, these days as well, like if you go to a makeup counter, there's not one bit of shock on those assistants' faces if it's a man, especially if it's an effeminate man buying makeup. There's definitely no shock to it. So there's no reason to kind of put anything into boxes, but companies such as MAC do advertise and like basically cater towards the drag queens and stuff like that, you know. Amazing colours, the colour palettes are amazing. It's studio makeup anyway, so it's done for the camera, that sort of stuff. And also, you know, in their advertising they do use and have used people such as RuPaul. Where MAC are concerned, they're very much a step forward than a lot of other companies. You know, obviously a lot of other companies advertise for women, and there's also like Jean-Paul Gaultier, who does actually have men ranges of makeup, but they're aimed at more of a masculine man. Yeah.
Is that where the phrase guy liner comes from?
Yeah, that sort of thing, like the guy liner. But they also do like a bronzer, but they put them in a very masculine, like for instance the guy liner's actually in, from Jean-Paul Gaultier, is actually in pen form, so it looks like you've got a pen in your pocket, so eyeliner. And there's, you know, yeah, it's just done very like in a more macho way. But whereas with MAC, it's just black packaging generally, unless they do special editions. Nobody, you know, it's just makeup, but amazing for what you know, what you need to use it for. But yeah, I use all sorts. I don't just. I've got a massive collection of different MAC things, but I also really like, personally, for me, I've always gone for Clinique foundation. I just think it suits my skin really well. You know, just because something has a like one certain, like MAC for instance, that I know they do have some amazing foundations, but and I like some of them. But yeah, my favourite foundation always comes from Clinique.
Where do you get your makeup ideas from? Is it people or videos you've seen, or?
Definitely, for me, it's like you do see a lot of it within music videos and stuff like that. Also, if I'm honest, going back to what we were talking about before, like burlesque looks and stuff like that, they're quite inspiring. But I also do look at other drag queens for tips as well, because you know what you've got to remember is you're working with a man's face, so you've got to contour better. Obviously on a girl, they've already got the softer features and stuff like that. When it's a man putting on makeup, it's got to be contoured. Well, not all men. Some men have very effeminate faces, but yeah, mostly you've got to contour and, you know, do a little extra than what a lady would have to do to achieve a look.
Also, a lot of trannies use it to sort of, as you were saying, sort of contour with the shaping of the face. They use it on the body as well. Can you tell us a bit about that?
For instance, your breast line, you would probably shade that in, without a doubt. You would basically get a dark bronzer and run it down the line here, slightly taking it out, so sort of like just to give it a shadow. Obviously use padding as well, but yeah, it's just contouring of the breast, I suppose. Also maybe this area here, to give you slightly more like a bonier look here, would probably be contoured. It's amazing what you can do with makeup.
So you're more sort of a glossy kind of cinema rather than art house?
Well, you know what though? I don't know. I think I could do hard house, but I just think eating dog poo for me would be a little bit too far. However, you know, people do things for their art. God bless you, Divine. We love you, girl. But yeah, I just think I think there's got to be limits to what I would do. I'd love to do sort of like one of those films where it's like, you know, like about gender confusion and stuff like that, where it's somebody just trying to get on with their life and, you know, like try and live with, you know, the situation they're in and stuff like that. I'd love to do that sort of thing. I think it'd be a real good challenge. Has anybody ever seen, have you ever seen a film called Crying Game? Now, that sort of film would be amazing to do.
So it's quite gritty.
It's gritty, and I mean, to be fair, she is absolutely stunning and she does look like a woman. However, that would be very beautiful to be able to do something like that. But yeah, I think I'd also like to do comedy. A bit of slapstick would always be funny. You know, something like, sort of like 2-1-4? Yeah, 2-1-4. That'd be really funny, where it's all kind of tongue-in-cheek, really good one-liners. That'd be amazing. But then, I've also seen films like Transamerica, and that's gritty and really good. Have you ever seen Transamerica? Amazing film, you know. Yeah. You see, there is some really good film, and I think I always do appreciate those films that sort of like put the character across better, instead of just making them out to be, you know, some demented man that like stresses a woman. They actually get to the gritty, you know, the down low side of it, like the whole, you know, the emotional battle of it all and stuff, you know, because I think especially people like who actually are gender confused. I'm not gender confused. I know exactly what I am. I just enjoy the dressing up. So yeah, dressing up. For me, it's like an art. It's fun, and if it ever stopped being fun, I'd just stop doing it. Like my wig would go in a closet and it wouldn't come back out. But for me, it's just fun, and I wouldn't want to live every day like this. Apart from that, God, it takes way too much time.
There's a recurring theme with films like Transamerica, Tu Wong Fu, and Priscilla, in that they're actually sort of the road movie genre.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of.
I think, in a way, it's like it's showing the journey of, in all those films. You know, like me, for instance, as a straight person, you're going through your journey of life from an early age because you're straight away sort of like expected to be straight, to want a dress in your gender of clothes or whatever. So what you find is people who aren't like that, who do like to dress up or do have sexual confusion, like sexuality confusion and stuff like that. It's a whole new road trip for them, and because it's not done as a young child, it's done as an adult. You know, you go through the process as an adult. So the road trip thing for me, and the way they always do that with these sort of films, is like that road to self-discovery, you know, which so many people take as a given. They think, you know, from the moment you're born, you're brought up by your parents to think that you're going to get married, you can have children, you're gonna, you know, have that 2.4 perfect family kind of picket fence, but that doesn't always happen. And you know, I think nowadays there's definitely a lot more people that are like bringing up the children a lot more open-minded to the fact of, you know, whatever you know you are, but obviously there's still a lot of people that wouldn't, you know. Let's not pretend that we live in a perfect world where everything's accepted and everybody's loved, and you know, it's a big old rainbow day, because it's not. Yeah, so those films, for me, they're a road to discovery. Like, you know, like we all play with our lives at some point, don't we? We all try and, you know, try and achieve different things, and for a lot of drag queens and stuff like that, it's like probably things that they've wanted to do all their life, but let's face it, you know, it's not the norm to do it. So yeah, it's a road of discovery for me, and I think that's why it's so, just so the way it is in films, because
Can't help but noticing
okay,
that there's quite a lot of wig there.
yeah, to be honest, wigs, for actual drag wigs, are really expensive.
How much?
You know, you're talking hundreds of pounds for actual drag wigs. First of all, men's heads are bigger, things like that. Basically, you use a lot more hair. Yeah, so like if you're going to get genuine drag wigs that are made for you, they're going to cost you a lot of money. That's not money I've really got at the moment. So what I do is I generally will go and get a normal wig and then add hair to it myself, just to bulk it out and make it look kind of bigger, more, you know. So I can go and get a wig for 40 quid, like, you know, 40 quid, jobs are good in. I've got a whole new look.
How many wigs would you say you've got now?
I've got 6 wigs.
All different?
Yeah. So like I've got just bobbed, blonde, curly. This is the first time I've ever gone red. It looks kind of cute, doesn't it?
Suits you.
Suits
But
me.
at the moment you're wearing 2.
I'm wearing 2, yeah.
So why is that?
Well, I wanted it to be sort of like so I had more hair. I like having a fringe because I've got like one of those strange shaped heads. So a fringe kind of softens the look for me. So I always get one at a certain length with the fringe, and then I will get other hair pieces to add to it, or extensions to add to it, to fill it out, to give it a more voluptuous kind of look. I mean, obviously at the moment I've just thrown this up because it's boiling, but yeah, there is actually a lot of hair here, like, and I just tie more hair around it to keep it out the way. But yeah,
The shop assistants, they don't seem to care. They really don't. Even in the big name sort of chemists and
in the
pharmacies,
big name shops, probably less than anything, because they're so used to it, you know.
especially in the city.
Yeah, in the city. Definitely, like if you know you walk into Selfridges, Harvey Nichols, or just a big Boots, they're so used to seeing it that there's definitely no stigma about a man going over and buying a lipstick. There's not even a flicker of an eye.
So they're sort of happy not only to sell it as if it's a gift, but they're actually happy to sort of assist in
like
chatting about it.
If I've wanted, especially, I've got to say, actually, Mac are really, really good for this. If I've wanted, like,
Sorry.
what?
I'm just imagining this gets distributed and all of a sudden you end up with a huge box of Mac getting knocked at the door. Thank you.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Bring me Mac. Give me Mac. No, yeah, but they are amazing for this. Like, you can go to them and literally just like tell them what you're looking for, and with Mac, there's not even a glimpse of sarcasm or they make you feel funny. They literally just help you out with whatever you need, and will even, you know, as good salespeople do, will actually tell you of other great products that would suit your look.
So it's like you were saying, you've said that obviously men might have a darker complexion, they might have like a 3 o'clock shadow, and they'll give tips on that sort of thing as well, which a woman they generally wouldn't give to.
No, definitely not. Yeah, I mean, there's so many things that you can put underneath foundation to get rid of those sort of things. Like kind of skin toners that go underneath your foundation to get rid of a dark shadow and stuff like that. And you know, if you go to these people, they will help you, show you how to do it. You know, even you can even get like almost like a face poly filler. You know, to fill out a few of the gaps in, like a few of the lines in your face.
Trowel it on.
Yeah, you can literally trowel it on. Why not? Like.
So would you say the same in wig shops? Because you were saying
now
non-specific transgender or whatever wig shops. If you're going into, say, a high street shop that sells wigs.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of it's a difficult question, that one, because I've been in wig shops before, and I've literally, they feel like everyone's just been like made me feel very uncomfortable.
Why is that?
Well, just because they literally will be like looking at you as if, you know, you're crazy, you're a man, why do you want wigs, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'm paying customer, just get me a wig. Do you know what I mean? Like, but then if you do, again, if you go into the town ones, like you came with me to come and get a wig the other day, there was not a flicker of.
I think again, I mean, the one that we went to, and again, this is part of the idea of sort of, we were talking about how long does it take to prepare. It was another thing, and again, you'd bought these two initially to wear at Sparkle as the sort of like a summer sort of hippie sort of feel to it. The shop that you went into, it was Manchester City Centre, which is one of the most cosmopolitan cities in Great Britain.
Huge gay scene.
But we also went into the Northern Quarter, which is sort of like, it's really sort of trendy, it's metrosexual, it's hippies. So, I mean, obviously, would you expect a response in a shop around that area?
No, not at all. Like, you know, I think they've probably seen everything, and it's a very open-minded part of town. I can't really see how they would justify being funny in any way.
And
it wouldn't be in their best interest.
The two guys that served you, they were very helpful as well.
Really
it was
helpful.
A case of...
They help, because like I've already explained, I do the 2 wigs to get. They helped me match up to the colour of the wig that the other hair that I needed. It was just really
And they
helpful.
didn't seem bothered that it was genuinely for you.
Not phased in the slightest. They just, they're probably so used to it. Because, like you said, Manchester's a very cosmopolitan city. It's got a huge gay scene. I lived in a small town for a long time, so I would say in them sort of places it can be really hard, because it's not quite as accepting as when you live in a big city. But my suggestion to you people is move. like, move, live your life the way you want to, because actually it's wrong to say that everyone in small towns is small-minded and stuff like that, because it's not true. I've got so many amazing friends from a small town where I lived in who are very accepting. Unfortunately, there is also those cavemen that live there too, that are like too scared of change and think that nothing, that life doesn't go on beyond those small towns. But the truth is, it does. Go to a big cosmopolitan city, and without a doubt, you'll find so many places you can just go to and be accepted or feel part of something. You don't need to worry about what people think, because it's dead easy for me to say this because I live in a big cosmopolitan city, but if you want something enough, you'll make the changes to actually be able to live that life the way you want it. Move. Just move. Just, what else can I say? Get to a good city. Go to a place where you can walk into a shop, buy a full-on frock and a pair of panties if you want, and nobody is going to care. Just do that. That's what I did. It works.